you purchase your new home. Stop by today or give us a call, 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage.
The cool food insecure.
This is Sammy Dixon at the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear. If you haven't had a chance to come see our new state-of-the-art showroom, then there's no better time than right now. While you're here, take advantage of huge savings on new Ford trucks. Get more than $10,000 off from select new F-150s while they last. You must hurry. They're going fast. Over $10,000 off on the best-selling truck in America for 39 straight years. You can also take advantage of money-saving, low interest rates on new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Our new bigger showroom means more inventory, and that means bigger savings for you. Come to the house at Good Service Bill and buy from Mike Butch Ford, and we'll give you 5 free oil changes following 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty.
If you're looking for an incredible deal on a new or pre-owned vehicle from the dealer who has always put you first, stop the search. Call the all-new Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear.
This is Sammy Dixon saying thank you. Thank you very much for your business.
WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 on your FM dial. Good morning, everyone. It's 8 o'clock Thursday morning, very last day of March 31st. Butch Hubbard here with you on the Big Dog. Currently, we have 63 degrees here in southeast Georgia, getting up to around 83 today, increasing cloudiness as the day goes along. 30% chance of showers today, 20% tonight, 60% tomorrow, and 60% tomorrow night. The Altamaha River level is at 9.4 feet and rising. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear, by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, and by Parker Insurance and Realty, located on Macon Street in downtown Jessup. And Bob, it is campaign season, and we do have a candidate for a certain office in the studio with us this morning.
As everybody knows, Tommy Williams is not running for re-election. He's opted to retire at the end of December. So 3 candidates in this race for the U.S. Senate seat. One in the studios with us today, Mr. Blake Tillery from Vidalia, Georgia. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Bob, for letting me. I appreciate it.
Tell people a little bit about who Blake Tillery is.
I'm just South Georgia boy. I grew up in Toombs County. I got elected to the Toombs County Commission about 4 years ago. And we elected countywide over there. At the time, we were in a little bit of a pretty big mess. We just raised the millage rate. Our cities and county were in the middle of suing each other, and we hadn't paved a dirt road in 10 years. So a 28-year-old ran for the chairman of the county commission position on a platform of trying to reverse that, saying, hey, listen, if we're trying to bring jobs here, we don't need to be raising taxes.
Well, we thought we had things bad here in Wayne County, Bob. We've never had it that bad.
It would be the equivalent, I guess, of Jessup, Scriven, and Odom trying to sue Wayne County, and at the same time, you're trying to bring jobs.
Oh, yeah.
I realized, hey, listen, if we can't get along ourselves, then it's going to be really hard for us to bring somebody new in.
Okay. So, well, when Tommy announces he's not running for re-election, what makes you decide to run for that seat?
Oh, yeah, the same reason you probably get up and come up here every morning. You care about your family, you care about your community. I realize that if we're not going to make the infrastructure improvements necessary here in southeast Georgia to be able to bring the jobs out of the ports of Brunswick and Savannah here, that we're just going to continue to send our jobs, our dollars, and then eventually our children to Metro Atlanta.
You've got a busy weekend. I can't even believe you're here campaigning.
It's been a busy week. We have
say, where you at?
Well, thank you. First of all, that's the best decision I've made here in Wayne County, is I'm marrying a Wayne County girl on Saturday. This week's been really busy. We had an event on Monday in McRae. This district's huge. It's 11 counties. It goes all the way from McRae to Soperton to Lyons to then down to Jessup and picks up Long County along the way. So we had an event Monday in McRae, an event Tuesday over in Tattnall County in Glenville. Last night I had to be at the State Ethics Board making sure everything was filed correctly in Atlanta. I got home about 1 a.m. and I'm here this morning with y'all.
Who you marrying locally?
Marrying Ashley Nicole Scher.
Okay.
She's a graduate of Wayne County High School. She was Miss Wayne County in 2008. And again, no matter what happens in this race, the best thing that's ever happened to me in Wayne County is finding her. So.
And we all ran into each other up at the University of Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Like she's going to become a doctor, is that right?
Yes, sir. She's in her third year of med school. In fact, you think that I'm working hard. Let me tell you, she's the one that's working the hardest, because she's going to be working until 5 o'clock tomorrow, and we have a rehearsal at 6 o'clock and rehearsal dinner at 8. So.
Okay. So you're going to take off campaigning for a week?
For honeymoon? We're going to take a few days, yes, sir. We're going to keep working.
Okay.
I've been advised that maybe I shouldn't do that, but let me tell you, she's going to be around a heck of a lot longer than this Senate seat either way. So,
happy wife, happy life.
Yes, sir. She really is great. Y'all raised a good one. I came down here and stole one of your best. So.
Okay. Well, the wedding was planned before the race.
Some folks have. There's been
somebody asked yesterday, said, well, he obviously wasn't thinking about running it. He's planning on waiting.
Well, I'm glad that you realized that. I think there was a rumor flying around for a while. This was some inside deal that I had some inside track from Senator Williams. Let me assure you, if I had an inside track, we wouldn't be planning a wedding there in the middle of it. So
That's what I told people. I said, I think he would have been planning his wedding and running for state. But you do know Tommy well, right? Tommy's come out and endorsed you. In fact, I tried to tell one of those other candidates that's running that, Tommy's already endorsed one candidate race. He wanted to argue with me, but I got the press release, had it on there already. So he has endorsed you for this.
Senator Williams has the type of character and background that I think is just the perfect for this seat. Frankly, I wish he was running again. His shoes are too big to fill. He's been great to Wayne County. He's been great to all of Southeast Georgia. And I just hope that I can learn from him. I'm thankful for his endorsement. I hope that also means that if I'm lucky enough to win this seat, that he'll also be someone I can call and rely on.
Now, remember now, folks, you can text us with comments or questions at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711. You can text us with questions for Blake Tillery, candidate for Senate District, what's the district again? 19th, the one that Tommy Williams is going to be retiring out of. And so you can text in questions at 912-427-3711. And, of course, you can listen to the world-famous Butch and Bob Show not only on 105.5, but around the world on our website at BigDogCountry.com. And while you're on BigDogCountry.com, you can see a video feed of the Butch and Bob Show. All right, Bob?
And there's no Democrat in the race, is that correct?
No, sir.
So this will be decided either May 24th or the runoff
subsequently in July. Yes, sir.
Right. 3 candidates. It's a huge district. So how are you getting around, seeing all the people and meeting all the people with that? I mean, is Tommy helping you with that as far as organizing, seeing certain people in different
Well, a lot of it, when I ran for chairman of the county commission, I knocked on every single door myself. But that was only one county. I can't knock on all the doors of 11 counties, so we're relying on other people to talk for us. Right? Teachers to talk to teachers, business people to talk to business people, bankers to talk to bankers, so on and so forth. And it's been very, very helpful so far. It's been so humbling, too, the amount of people who will come out and help with their time, with their energy, with their efforts, and with their dollars. The hardest thing about politics, in my opinion, is fundraising. And I don't think we'll have the most money in the race. I'm not a former legislator, and fundraising's hard. But when people are willing to invest their dollars, it's such a humbling experience. And I've been very, very grateful and very thankful for that.
So when you go around and campaign, what's your message? What are you trying to tell people if you get to Atlanta? What would you like to see done?
I'll keep it really simple. I don't know if that's because I'm just a simple person and can only remember a couple of points, or if it's because that's how what worked when I ran for the county commission chairman. It's keeping to very simple points. When I was talking about reducing taxes, making sure the cities and the county got along, and paving some dirt roads. Here, it's 4 points that are just as simple. We need to grow our economy. I'd like to see us reduce taxes. I want to make sure that we provide a world-class education for our children. And I'd like to see us limit federal and state intrusion on local issues.
Well, one of the big issues up in Atlanta this past session was, of course, the religious freedom bill. The governor vetoed that. I just want to get your thoughts on that. Where you would have stood if you were up there in Atlanta at that time.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, thanks for bringing that up. It is a controversial issue. It's had several forms. I've seen this. I think the current version is about 8 pages. First, let me come out and say that I disagree with the governor's been really good on many issues, but I disagree with him on the veto of that bill. Let me tell you, so that I make sure I'm talking about the right act, because I know there were several bills that went through. Let me just tell you what my position is rather than commenting on that act specifically. I don't think that any individual, any business, or any church should be forced to take a position or to do any action that's against their deeply held fundamental beliefs. So if that's what the current bill came to me that did not require that, then I would be supportive of that.
Well, it's about the money. There's so many groups out there who said they, like Disney, would never come here and shoot a movie again, and other groups out there. So I think it came down to, as we always say here on the world famous Butch and Bob Show, it's always about the money, honey. So it's an economic thing.
The pressure these businesses say they were going to veto the entire state of Georgia. You see it like that, like a lot of people do.
Well, I think there's a lot more to it even than that, and it gets a little bit convoluted here. There were 2 bills I know that were moving. One was a Pastor Protection Act, and then one was what we would call the Religious Freedom Act, and dealt with a few other things. And that's where the businesses had more of a problem, I think.
Right.
The governor actually sent down, and again, remember, I'm a county commission chairman. I've not been in Atlanta, so I can only tell you what I've sort of viewed and seen from the outside. If we're sitting here in 2 years and I've been elected, then I can talk about it a lot differently then. But I need your help to get there. So there were two bills moving forward. The Pastor Protection Act. The governor sent down a message to the legislature and basically said, I understand what you're trying to do here. You want to make sure that pastors are protected if they decide, because of their deeply held religious beliefs, that they cannot do certain ceremonies, which again I would support. And if that's the case, that they wouldn't possibly be barred from any state monies that may come to them through a soup kitchen, etc., something like that. The governor let the legislature know, I support that.
Yes, he did.
And then on the backside said, I have some issues with the Religious Freedom Act. And then what happened in the middle of it, in the sausage making of the legislature, you had someone who was a senator who stepped in and said, well, I can pull the governor's hand on this. What I'm going to do is combine both of these and send them both to him and force his hand. And I don't know if that was for a political ploy, if it was, I'm not going to question anybody's motives because, again, I'm not in the legislature. I'm on the Toombs County Commission. But when they did that, what they ended up doing is killing the entire bill. I realized that you can't always throw a 96-yard pass to Lindsey Scott. Sometimes you got to go Herschel to the left, Herschel to the right, and Herschel up the middle. And if they could have advanced that ball, if we could have advanced the Pastor Protection Act just 3 yards then we can come back on the next down and get 3 more yards. We don't always have to. I don't take the position that we can't get anything done because we can't always hit Lindsey Scott for 96 yards.
And one reason Tommy was so successful all the years, and he always talked about how he was able to, reach across the aisle and work with Democrats and Republicans. How do you plan to follow that path as well and try to do that, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think that the legislature operates on relationships. And one of the things that our area has to realize now is that 55% of your state population lives north of I-20. You're statistically a minority. Now, you're not irrelevant. We're not dying. But it does mean that if there are things that we need to accomplish, we've got to find the ways that we can help those folks and our friends who are north of I-20 on issues that don't compromise our values and that don't hurt our citizens, so that when we need their help on issues concerning water or timber or infrastructure, that they're there for us, that we built those relationships beforehand. And I think that really is the 3 people running this race. They're good men. I know both of them. I know Mr. Parker a lot better. I've known him for 15 or 20 years. I think you're going to see that we are similar on probably 90% of the issues, all 3 candidates. We're all going to be pro-life. We're all going to be pro-Second Amendment. We're all going to want smaller government and less taxes. One of the areas I think that sort of begins to distinguish us is that I understand 55% of the state population lives north of I-20. We've got to be able to work together, not only with the folks north of I-20, but ourselves. If a business or a plant operates in Jessup, it's going to help my folks in Little Wussy. If a business or plant wants to operate in, Pierce County, it's still going to help the folks in Akron. Some folks are going to live and operate there. We can't be so stuck by geographical and political lines that we don't realize that a rising tide does raise all ships.
Again, in the studio is Blake Tillery, running for U.S. Senate with us, being out campaigning, got the waiting this Saturday. You mentioned the two Georgians. We hear that all the time. People in South Georgia just feel like, everything's dictated by Atlanta. They point to the transportation bill, same thing. So how do you overcome that, the viewpoint of a lot of citizens that there's just 2 Georgians and everything above Macon controls the entire state?
I do. Again, going back to what we talked about statistically, they're correct. 55% of the people live not just north of Macon, north of I-20. That's downtown Atlanta. So you have to have friends and be able to cooperate and work across not only the aisle, but work with folks who are on the same side of your aisle who live north of you. And again, I think that that's one of the areas that distinguishes me from the other candidates is I understand what it's like to work with a team. Remember, when I got elected, everybody was fighting each other. I had to come in there and be a peacemaker from the beginning to help do what we were doing in Toombs County. And I'm proud of that. We've been able to pave dirt roads, and we reduced the millage rate, the tax rate, every single year I've been in office. That's not something that I think is a small accomplishment. I'm very proud of that.
I'm sure, like I said, marrying a Wayne County girl,
Yes,
Tommy Williams well. You've been in Wayne County, so I guess you heard the hot topic in Wayne County, the coal ash issue. So
Yes, sir.
Give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I think I joined with every other elected official in Wayne County. I actually brought the inside of the paper here that where every single elected official stated their position on it. And I agree with them there. I think it's that we all agree that we don't necessarily want this in Wayne County. That I remember hearing Dr. Rasmussen at the coal ash meeting I guess it was about 2 weeks ago now, and how he talked about the geology of Southeast Georgia and how that it's not particularly well suited for coal ash and how those things can seep down into our estuaries and into the water table. Also, I'm an attorney. I can read a contract, and I understand that if we can't stop it by stopping the 404 permit or other things, that we need to be in a position to seek concessions from Republic for what they would do, which would, I'm afraid, could be very harmful for our economy.
Well, the question I keep asking, I keep saying it's a federal state issue. Where's the legislation statewide? No coal ash in the state of Georgia, period. How hard's that pass? Why can't we pass that?
No, you're asking me to
people against that.
Well, you're asking me to put my,
That's my
Too many powerful people against that, Bob.
It's so bad, so dangerous, so toxic. Where's that legislation? Why can't we pass that bill? The heck with the bill. Oh, if they have a leak, they have to notify you. What good does that do? How about the bill? No coal ash ever in the state of Georgia, period.
Well,
Why can't we get that passed?
I can answer that for you, but that's taking off the candidate hat and putting on the lawyer hat.
Okay, go ahead.
It actually violates what's called the Interstate Commerce Clause. So that you can't say that certain.
So we can't do that.
That's going to be a federal issue. So remember, I'm running for the state senate, so you're going to need to talk to.
Again, it's a federal issue.
It's a federal issue.
That's what I keep telling. That's what I keep trying to stress to people. EPA says it's no longer toxic. Where did that happen?
That happened. You know where it happened? It happened
Buddy Carter's going to be at the meeting tonight. I can't wait to hit him up with that.
It happened in a room with people who have never been elected, making decisions on not laws. Again, they're just writing policies, and that's why we've got to be so careful about the folks we send to Atlanta and to Washington.
Now, Blake, somebody wants to know what you do for a living. We just had our first text come in.
Yeah, I'm an attorney. I'm also the chairman of the county commission in Toombs County.
Okay. Blake, tell her in this morning.
We do some real estate closings and probates, and
How many commissioners y'all have on your board?
we have 4 elected in districts, and then I'm elected countywide.
Okay.
But I want to go back to the coal ash issue because, again, that's where one of the points you asked me what I want to do. I told you we want to grow our local economy, reduce our taxes, have a world-class education, and then limit state and federal intrusion on local issues. Don't you wish that the folks who are listed here in this newspaper giving you their positions who you can talk to at your coffee shops every day, don't you wish they were making the decision on this issue instead of someone who you're never going to see and is never going to see you?
But they said that they've already made that decision at the federal level. That's what's sad. What about you? We got a couple of commissioners going to Banks County to look at the landfill up there because they've already taken a lot of coal ash. You familiar with that? Because that's right. You're Athens, Georgia. That's 30 miles from Athens. So I don't see anybody yelling, screaming up there. What's going on there?
I don't know. I look forward to talking to Commissioner Hickox and some of the others when they return to figure out what they were able to find. Now, we run a landfill in Toombs County now. And one of the things we did, trying to be proactive again, is we passed a moratorium for 180 days on anything that would change there, so that we can learn from others. Again, the beauty of a democracy and a republic is we get to sit back and watch every other government entity make decisions as well, and we can pick the ones that work and stay away from the ones that don't.
Well, again, as we mentioned, it's a huge district. How many counties again? 11. So, what is the campaign strategy? They said 3 people in the race. They said you go in different places, different, groups. I'm sure you're speaking to civic organizations, things like that. So, how do you do that? On, who figures out the schedule? Who decides where you go? Who you see? Things like that. How's the campaign strategy working?
I have a campaign manager who helps out with some of those things, but a lot of people go through me. I give out my cell phone number freely. I did that when I ran for chairman of the county commission. Folks laughed at me then and said, "You'll change that sucker in a week." I don't. And you'll see it's on the back of this card. It'll be on every single piece of, if we send mail, if we have enough money to send mail, it'll be on the mail. It'll be on the radio. We'll say it as well. And here's why. I have a different view of government. If I can catch Bob with his problem before Bob gets to the coffee shop, then I only have to deal with one problem. But if he gets to the coffee shop, then I've got to deal with 13 problems. And so I want people to feel like they can call me. I don't want them to just feel like they can call me. I want them to call me. So my cell phone number is 912-245-9915. It will not change if I'm blessed enough to be elected, because I do want you to still feel comfortable calling me about any issue, whether it be religious freedom or it be coal ash. I may have to tell you that you need to call Buddy Carter, but I don't mind directing you to the way. I think that's what a senator's supposed to do. They're supposed to help you get in front of the person who can help solve your problem.
Well, just one suggestion: after your marriage, in a couple of days, you might want to turn the cell phone off.
There may be a message.
It might be the shortest marriage ever.
There may be a message that directs you to a couple other people for the next few days.
Yeah, so I'm sure Tommy's advised you better than that.
Somebody wants you to talk about, Blake, about unfunded state mandates in education. You know, we get these unfunded state mandates all the time from Atlanta, and I know it's been a problem here in Wayne County about state monies going away, but then they want you to do stuff also, which means we have to raise taxes here.
Right.
I'm sure you had that situation there in Toombs County, didn't you?
We do. Now, remember, in my position in Toombs County, I don't deal with
I know you're the school
board,
person, but
correct.
I'm sure you're aware of it.
But and it's going to be a bigger issue. It'll be a much larger issue if I'm able to move into this role, if I'm blessed by the people of Wayne County. I actually think we need to tackle it from a completely different standpoint. Funding in general for education. The issue we have right now is you have Metro Atlanta schools who have a lot more money per capita to spend per student, and that's based upon the millage rate. I would love to see us, and again, remember, I'm going to listen before I speak on some of these things. So some of the things I'm rolling out now, if there's someone in our district who wants to call in and say, kid, that doesn't work, let me tell you why, I would love to hear it. I do not think I have the monopoly on best ideas. But what if we were able instead, just throwing some ideas at the wall, what if we were able to do away with property taxes for education and instead do a statewide sales tax on education, and then we were able to send that money back to the local counties per capita so that the kid in Wayne County, the child in Long County was getting the same thing as the child in Alpharetta, and it was on a per head basis. So then we don't have that funding inequity that, first of all, it provides immediate property tax relief to the people of Wayne County, Long County, Toombs County, et cetera. But at the same time, it levels the playing field. We're no longer dealing with apples and oranges. So that's one idea I'd love to hear more feedback from. I've talked with several superintendents already. It may be the worst idea ever, Butch, but it might work.
It might.
And the thing is,
there's a lot of debate on that, whether sales tax could replace property tax in many situations.
and the thing is, though, what we do know is we can't continue to do nothing and expect a different result.
Correct.
Again, if you join us, Blake Tillery, candidate for U.S. Senate in the studios with us. Again, May 24th is the primary. Do you know when the runoff will be, if there is a runoff?
It's in the end of July, so you have 8 weeks between. It's the same
hot time.
it's a long one.
Okay, so whoever just asked that question about the state mandated on education liked your idea. Just like I said, I like that. That's what I said.
And you've got my cell phone already. Feel free to call me later on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the line's open, 912-427-3711 if you want to text a question in to Blake Tillery, candidate for state senate.
Yeah, one thing, you talk about lower taxes, when people look at the state budget, it's a big budget. There's always what people call waste. You see any waste in the, when you look at a budget, or what are some of the areas you think are just waste?
It's a huge budget. It's $24 billion. And one of the things, again, that I think distinguishes me from my other candidates is I've had to manage a county budget. It ain't $24 billion, it's $9.3 million though. I've had to manage my personal finances. I've had to manage my business finances, and I've successfully done all three. And I think that that's a distinguishing factor and something to remember when folks go to the polls.
You've already answered this question, but a person, they tuned in and out during the course of the show here is, what's your opinion on Governor Deal vetoing the Religious Liberty Act bill?
I disagree with the governor on that.
You disagree? I know you said that, but we just want to reemphasize it once that person just text that in. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, again, I appreciate you coming in. Anything else you want to tell the people about your campaign, about yourself?
No,
we haven't talked. I think we covered just about everything. Like I said, I do appreciate you coming in. I know it's especially
it's been a busy
your
week.
schedule.
And then today,
well, luckily he's the groom. You don't do that much.
I got to be there.
You got to show up.
And I've got to bring the rings, Butch. That's important.
That's very, very important. You got to bring them rings. Hey, I've done it twice, so this twice.
It's a busy day. Thank you so much for allowing me to be down here this morning. I've got to head when I leave here. I'm headed to the top end of the district, McRae. There's a retired teachers meeting there, and then I'll be back down here for Taste of Wayne tonight. And
well, you will be at Taste of Wayne tonight.
Yes, sir. I'll be there in another role, so it'll be fun. So
another role?
Yeah, I can't tell you yet.
You can't tell.
A secret.
Bring your fishing pole. There's going to be live catfish running through a river through there.
Is that what's going to be
small stream?
You'll get a lot of people to Taste of Wayne. I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, I hope. Please feel free to approach me. I promise you, I'd love to talk to you more. And then after that's done, I actually leave tonight late, and I have to be in. Drive up to Athens for our rehearsal dinner tomorrow. So it's going to be a busy day.
I recommend the shrimp from Sybil's. I talked to James yesterday, and you're going to provide some shrimp. So I told him to make sure he put me some to the side. So
put you some to the side?
That's what I'm looking forward to.
You need a buddy fly you around the stage. What you need was driving.
It's 11 counties. I mean, I'm definitely burning up the roads. So
I imagine.
I'll need a new set of tires in a few days.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. Appreciate you coming in, and I'm sure we'll see you we'll have you in before now in May for sure.
Yes, sir. I hope I can earn your votes. I appreciate y'all allowing me on.
Okay, we'll be back more of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a minute.
The big spring sale continues at your local Sears Hometown store. Thursday, March 31st through Saturday, April 9th. Take 35% off all Kenmore cooking appliances over $499 when you use your Sears card. Take a big 50% off Kenmore, Kenmore Elite, and Kenmore Pro wall ovens over $499 when you use your Sears card. And save up to 20% on all Kenmore appliances. Plus, when you buy any appliances over $499 using your Sears card, take an extra 15% off or get 18-month special financing. Don't miss Sears Days going on now in their lawn and garden department with the lowest prices of the season on select items. Take up to 25% off riding lawn mowers and up to 20% off power lawn and garden equipment, tillers, pressure washers, trimmers, and more. And special financing is available. While you're there, take 50 to 60% off all mattresses and foundations and save up to 25% on Craftsman tools over $50 too. You'll save store-wide at your local Sears Hometown store on South 1st Street in Jessup.
Lowest prices, great service, and more at your Sears Hometown store.
All right, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, world famous Butch and Bob Show. Well, we knew Delvis, but we didn't know Blake Tillery running for Senate, and now we do, Bob.
All right, and there's one other person, the Parker man. We'll get him in before now in May as well. Met him at Damon's a couple of weeks ago. So 3 candidates in the race, all the Republican tickets. Again, as he mentioned, May 24th, the election date, and then he said the runoff will be sometime in July. So 8 weeks after the primary runoff will be. So a lot of time to campaign for the people who make the runoff. So be interested. Taste of Wayne, mentioned Taste of Wayne, major announcement tonight. So we'll have that for you tomorrow as well. So looking
There's a major announcement tonight at the Taste of Wayne.
Yeah, and that's what I've been told. My sources tell me major news announcement tonight at the Taste of Wayne. So looking
Oh, wow, man. So, is this...
Pretty much know what the announcement is, but I'm waiting to hear it.
Okay, you're waiting to hear it. Okay. All right. Major news announcement tonight at the Taste of Wayne. If you cannot make it to Taste of Wayne tonight, Bob will have it on our local sports and local newscast in the morning at 7:10. Give or take a few minutes. Okay? Sounds good. Taste of Wayne tonight. Tickets still available. You can call the chamber 427-2028. $50 for chamber members and their employees and $75 for everyone else. Lots of restaurants there. It'll be set up. You just round get just, it's like a big round buffet. Silent auction item, live auction item, second chance band playing. Just a great evening. Right. Starts at 7.
Bring your dancing shoes because second chance band's going to perform, so it's going to be fun.
All right.
Looking forward to that. Love second chance band.
They're good.
They're awesome.
They're good dudes, good band.
Very entertaining.
All right. Well, the ball games for tomorrow have been changed, right?
Already changed, yeah. Thompson called just today, said that the forecast calls for, said that they're since driving 3 hours up there for a rain out, so they've already pushed it back to Saturday at 2 o'clock is the plans now, so.
Saturday at 2.
Saturday at 2.
Instead of tomorrow at 4:30 or 4, it'll be Saturday at 2, Wayne County, Thompson.
Doubleheader day, Saturday.
Okay.
On the road for the trip.
So, are we traveling or are they traveling?
We're traveling.
We're traveling. So, we got to wait all the way to Saturday to go. I guess they can make that decision since they're the home team.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they're dictating all the terms right now, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, does that work out a little better for us since we had to play a doubleheader on Monday? Rest the arms on another day for some of these pitchers?
I guess. Extra day's rest.
Yeah.
Look at the bright side, I guess.
Look at the bright side. And the fact that it may not be raining.
That's definitely a bright side.
That's a good bright side right there, I can tell you.
Look at the JV game last night, 13-inning affair. That was fun to watch. But you don't normally play 13-inning games in JV baseball.
No,
but it was a heck of a game. And Wayne County wins it in the bottom of the 13th, 5-4 over at Benedictine to sweep them and finish the season at 16-2. So that was fun to watch last night. But that was a long day. 3:30 doubleheader started. Got out of there about 10 o'clock last night. So
10?
But it was,
wow.
That's about what time the game ended, 9:42, I think the final pitch was.
Okay.
So, but it was fun to watch. Like I said, big, talented JV team, 16-2 on the campaign, but a nice sweep yesterday for Benedictine, 3-1 and 5-4 in 13 innings.
Way to go, JV. What a squad they had this year. Man.
A lot of talent.
Lots of talent there. Going to be moving on up into the varsity level. Okay. That sister that got on to you for the way you dress in the world famous Butch and Bob show, where does she live?
Virginia.
It's the one in Virginia.
Yes, my youngest sister, with my two nieces and nephews. The one niece is in South Carolina. I was going to see her. She's enjoying Columbia, so she's enjoying being a Gamecock. So, but she was just giving me a hard time about my interest.
Sister, let me tell you. So you can wave at her right now and say, "Look, sister, I got a decent shirt on this morning."
Jonathan thinks I'm going to play golf. I wish.
It does look like a golf shirt, doesn't it? Under Armour, nice blue shirt there.
I wish.
Yeah, you wish. Someone just texted in, varsity soccer is still on for tomorrow. A home game here in Jessup against Thompson, a region game.
Right.
So it's still on.
Still the soccer.
Yeah, you can still play. You can play soccer in the rain.
Soccer in the rain,
yeah. So Thompson will be coming down there. So no baseball tomorrow, but there will be home soccer tomorrow. Girls and boys start at 5.
I've seen soccer play and dying to watch.
Oh, yeah, I've been in it before. Yeah. Not playing, but coaching. Eons ago. All right.
Unfortunately, the baseball gets a little wetter than the soccer.
Yes, it does. Kind of hard to hit that thing. Well, on this date, 24 years ago, Bob, went down to the attorney's office and signed the papers, and I bought Jessup Broadcasting 24 years ago today.
4 years ago.
24 years ago. Man.
Time flies.
It does, doesn't it? Well, any other words of wisdom today?
No, just again, as you mentioned, Taste of Wayne tickets still available at the Chamber today, 2028. Again, it's going to be a fun event, so come on out and have a great time.
All right, sounds good. All right, the world famous Butch and Bob show brought to you by Parker Insurance and Realty, located on